Yeah, I mean this is one of those ones. I mean, I've said it before. You know, once it gets to this level, um, obviously RNG, as with any of these races, is going to be a huge factor. These are two though. I mean, you're talking about these guys can maintain the center and clear rooms even with the driest of drops. So what's going to be very interesting is who really gets that first orb, because once one of these guys gets the orb, the room's dust. It's done. They're just able to hold the center. It'll be interesting to see if anyone, if you happen to get that one foot soldier or something that kind of gets through, maybe a shrapnel breaks in the wrong place, who kind of gets rattled out of center here first. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, that is going to be the key here because, both of these players more than capable of holding their own, even when the game does not give them the proper weapons to shred through these rooms. We are underway, ladies and gentlemen. Game number one between CHX42 and Brisulph.
Yeah, coming out the gate, it will be interesting to see who gets the hold shot. Slightly different strategies from the two. Brisulph actually hugging that right side door a little bit. Initially, not getting too much break. Actually, CHX breaks way more, and very close, obviously, between the two here. It's going to be potentially sub 40, way below sub 40. Wow.
Yeah, a mid 38 for Brisulph and a low 39. Those are both world-class times coming out of Arena 1, and you're expecting nothing less out of these two fine competitors here. What's the vulnerability for CHX? First drop for Brisulph, a foot, so not much to write home about for either.
No, not at all. But that's, I mean, there's so many times you will have that first drop not work out. You're just working through the drops. There it goes. Bry gets the first orb here for us. Nothing quite for CHX's side, but still should be able to maintain given holding the center for the most part here.
A nice time nuke there by Brisulph to get under 80 seconds. He pulls a 78 going into Eat My Shrapnel, where we have to take down 18 of the Mr. Shrapnel dudes, but a maximum of 4 can be on the screen, so you got to make sure that damage is coming, and in CHX's case, not having that orb might have a rough go early on, but it looks like he's doing a good job of what the game has given him, as we have a razor shield for him. Brisulph not really getting any weapons to complement that orb, though, Taps.
No, we'll be able to just do fine in this room. We'll be able to clear out the foot soldiers along with the shrapnel, so won't be really losing any time in this room. But I think what was interesting there was CHX was able to get that razor shield early, really used it as almost an offensive weapon as much as a defensive one, and really kept up there without that orb. But now this is when it's become a factor. Total carnage.
Orb. That is correct. Total carnage, the room that really starts to test your skills here. And CHX starts with rockets, gets more rockets, but a razor shield. Now the orb for CHX, that's going to really help him out, be able to mitigate any time loss that he could have suffered in this room. Now, how they got there, just to let people know, is that CHX took down a 40 watt in the winner's semifinals, 4-2. Brisulph Prince Leaf pushing Brisulph to the absolute edge in that winner's semifinals, but it was Brisulph in the end with a timely invulnerability after a spreader, taking it down 4-3. That's how they got there, and Brisulph, fortunately, the explosion there on that last shrapnel, but still a 255, but look at this, CHX gained some time, both sub 3 into the bonus room. You know what it's time for, Tapatio.
Oh, Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell.
And chorizo, nacho burrito, Master Tang and Master Burgundy. What are you doing here?
Yes, Furon Burgundy, welcome. We were expecting you. I know you were running a little bit late, but it is good to see you. We just got started here. We're in the middle of game number 1 of the first match. Brisulph starts with a nuke, a foot for CHX, so advantage Brisulph definitely. But now rockets on the feet for CHX. Great drop for him.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really going to help maintain the center. As you can see, Brisulph having to dance a little bit, having to work the edges here, not seeing anything. Don't like that dude right there. So working the center, doing as well as he can. But yeah, we'll probably be losing some time here to CHX, getting the drops. Oh, there's the rocket.
Yep, good rocket drops there for Brisulph. Could carry him close to the end of the room here. We're going to see some hot times going into the Mutoid Man fight. But Brisulph losing the orb at the end of the room, so he will not be able to get the ball buster. And in fact, we have a lead change. CHX with a 409. Brisulph 4 13. So what was a 4-second lead is now a 4-second deficit.
Yeah, absolutely. A handful of seconds lost right there, so not too bad initially, but it's going to be that ball buster potential. CHX has the ability to really land.
Oh, but he got flexed by Mutoid, man. So, but here's a spreader for both players, but CHX, his is getting parked on. Will he be able to get to it? The answer is no.
Not for the lack of effort, really tried to get there. Another spreader there for Bry. Going to try to manual this one from the right side. Unfortunately, quick death there. Oh, but CHX does get another one in almost the same spot, but is able to get this one. So it's going to even that right back up.
And he will get run over, but what is that next one? But another spreader!
Oh, yeah, and just ran right in. That is amazing. Another spreader.
Wow. The game offering an apology on that first sat-on spreader here. Lobbers for CHX as he's already popped the head, and CHX well on his way to a sub-6. You know what? We could see it. Brisulph going to go for the manuals here. Thought about taking the death. Going to go for the manuals. Now going to
Won't go for this one. This is going to be close.
We could see it, folks. This could be history. Final 4 for CHX. He's got lobbers. Invulnerability for Brisulph.
Oh, this might take too much time. This might be, I don't know.
Oh, my goodness gracious. The lobbers pouring for CHX. He's missing shots. Grenades for Brisulph. And it's CHX who's going to win. And we have history for the first time ever. Sub-6, a losing time.
Oh, my goodness.
551 for CHX, 554 for Brisulph, and Brisulph is going to lose by 3 seconds. Unbelievable. The first time ever, sub-6, a losing time in a match, and CHX draws first blood in this classic, 551 to 554.
And we have potentially 6 more of these to go. Sweet mercy.
Hold on. I need my heart pills. It's going to be a wild one tonight, I think. Oh, boy. That is incredible. Game 1, and they immediately get the sub-6. Oh, both get the sub-6. That's incredible. And right there, like, if you're on Brisulph's side, you get the spreaders with the invulnerability to follow. You usually love to see that. I just thought it was just too far away on the map. That just cost a little bit extra time to travel. I don't know if it could have been any faster for Brisulph right there, but goodness, that was as close as it could have been. Absolutely, that was amazing.
The challenge that you run into, though, is if you leave that invulnerability behind, all it takes is one shimmy from Mutoid Man, and there's a death, and we're talking about then we're not talking about history. Then it might be, with that death, north of 6 minutes, and it's just, oh, ho-hum, CHX has a 1-0 lead on Brisulph. So,
yes,
it was kind of needed in that regard for the history and to give Bry the best chance to be able to get back into it.
Absolutely, man. What an epic start to this match. I'm going to see, yes, Brisulph already pointing out to me that this better get clipped. Oh, if nobody clips it here, I certainly will. So, my word. What a start to this match. I'm going to get them ready for game number 2.
Yeah, I show up just in the nick of time. All of a sudden, all kinds of insanity is happening here.
You come in during the bonus room, and it all just went to chaos from there, Burgundy. I gotta say.
Just that little extra enchilito getting everything done.
Everything was to the book. Nothing crazy happening. And then Burgundy shows up. Bryce starts losing the orbs. Fleets start changing. Yeah. But, that's how it's going to be.
I see where you're going with this. Okay.
Yes. All right. Here we go. Game number 2 between CHX and Brisulph. Let's see if CHX can build on that 1-0 lead or if Brisulph can equalize. Both have their Razor Shield to start things off. Now let's see what those next drops are going to be. Smart Bomb for CHX, grenades for Brisulph. Both going to, of course, wisely ignore that drop. But the next drop ends up being a Smart Bomb, then timing is going to be key. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's kind of interesting. just something, small little things you kind of notice as both these guys go through. Again, razor thin margin here between the two. Both sub 40 going into the next room. Phenomenal time.
Not even half a second Tapatio between the two. Both of them putting in a 39. So opening drop is going to be important again. A foot versus Rockets. This time the advantage goes to CHX early. Oh, and Brisulph getting clubbed down. More Rockets for CHX, absolutely right here. So, and more Vitamin R, the triple for CHX. Oh my goodness gracious! Even without an orb, this is going to be a hot time going into my Shrapnel. Look at this, 115 dynamite.
Ooh, but the orb there for Bry to kind of make it up a little bit. If this, if CHX doesn't see an orb going through here, this will help out Bry. Kind of make up some of that time. But yeah, phenomenal right there from CHX, just flying through that room and actually taking grenades right there. I don't know.
Oh, I know why he's doing that. He's fishing for an orb there, Tapatio, and guess what? It paid off. He got it.
He was hunting.
We have seen that before. Actually, grenade use isn't, or getting grenades in this room, if you have the shrapnel on the board, it's going to be a faster way to get through those shrapnel. If you have shoes as well, you're able to move fast toward them. It actually isn't that bad of a weapon. And then you have that additional caveat of, absolutely, you get to get another item drop, and hopefully it works.
CHX drops the orb!
The foot soldiers getting in hot from the south there, unfortunately getting a little too close, and that's an unfortunate drop.
That's a big opportunity now for Brisulph to catch up here, and an opportunity lost for CHX to get a 2-4X into the bonus room. I mean, both of these runners capable of turning in a 2-4X into the bonus room, which, correct me if I'm wrong, no one's gotten a 2-4X yet in this tournament.
Not to my knowledge, but I know there are some of the races that I've missed along the way.
I know we've had a couple of 250s of late there as Brisulph keeping that orb health and not really getting any weapons. Now gets another razor shield here. Rockets, orb replacement for CHX, so at least that's going to mitigate the time loss that he could have had in this room, but we may have a lead change in Brisulph. Yes, that was a good nuke. 3 flat. We do have a lead change. CHX, though, just 3 seconds back at 303. And ladies and gentlemen, get those chalupas as it's time for... Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell. Brisulph making up all that time from the early gains that CHX had on those Rockets in collect power-ups. But the opening drop, it's Rockets for CHX, kind of in a tricky spot. A foot for CHX, advantage to the number 1 seed.
Yeah, Bry working the top and then going immediately for those Rockets, clears it out well, and then, it's just clean from here. This is going to be a very nice room if he's able to hold the center. Rockets, though, on CHX's side, so it's going to start being able to clear that just as well. It will be a little bit, maybe a time gain right there for Brisulph. We'll see how this rest of this room goes.
There's a nuke for CHX. Brisulph getting a couple of dudes, so not going to really help his cause out too much. More Rockets now for CHX. This could be close here. Gets the shrapnel just in time. Brisulph with a 4-11. CHX gained a second.
Beautiful. Like, he was melting the foot soldiers right there with that latest rocket drop. That was beautiful for CHX. Made up some great time there.
So once again, sub 6 in play for both runners easily, but a bad opening drop for Brisulph with the key. Lobbers for CHX. Always got to be careful of that swirl before you pick up that lobber. Now Rocket, CHX picks it up. Try to line up the ball buster. It looked like he got it.
Both of our runners potentially going for manual spreaders here. Brisulph from the left, CHX from the right.
CHX gets run over, so he won't be able to get to those lobbers. Grenades for Brisulph. Both arms popped off for both players. It's real close again between the two. Couldn't ask for anything more here. Now lobbers for Brisulph with the refill. Lobbers now for CHX. The old school strats doing consistent damage. But as you can see, a spreader now for CHX.
Yep, and an invulnerability for Brisulph. So a little bit of an empty. Still going to just unload those lobbers. CHX getting some great shots and another one.
This is going to be a hot time for CHX because you know he's going to get transfer damage out of this one. Well, he is missing Shamsat. Final form now. I don't know about the transfer damage. He might have missed there. Final form now for Brisulph. Grenades for CHX.
It's going to be close to closing this out. Yeah, CHX is able to get it with the grenades there. If it was one more drop, there was a chance for Brisulph, but that was a clean closeout from CHX besides the transfer.
Look at this time that CHX is going to have. He had a 5:51 in the first game and now a 5:49. Won't be back-to-back sub-6 losing times. It's going to be a 6-0x for Brisulph. But, man, another competitive race between the top two runners in the world, and CHX out to a 2-0 lead as it's a 6:05 for Brisulph, a difference of 16 seconds, my word.
Oh. That, I mean, no matter what, I think this is going to be something that's a little consistent. Maybe an orb, the items might start drying up, but I mean, from both these guys, you're looking at sub-6, low-6 times consistently. They're just flying through this game.
And if you count the 5:31 that Brisulph had in his match against Prince Leaf, that is the 12th run of 5-4x or better in the tournament.
They just keep on coming at this particular stage, and I mean, Bry didn't really do anything wrong. It was just RNG was a little bit kinder to CHX with those back-to-back spreaders in Mutoid, and the drops were just not there for Brisulph. A lot of keys, just a lot of invulnerabilities, just empty drops that weren't allowing him to do any kind of damage.
Yeah, I believe he only had the one spreader that he had to do manual. Did some good manual damage, might I add. But yeah, had a couple of empty drops that really hurt his chances. And didn't really good quality weapons for the end of the Mutoid Man fight. So that was what cost him a shot at another sub-6. But yeah, RNG just favoring CHX despite losing that orb. In early, he lost the orb a couple of times early in this race, but you know what? He's made it work for him in Mutoid Man. He's got a 2-0 lead, and Brisulph in a little bit of trouble here, but definitely not insurmountable for him.
Oh yeah, heavens no, that absolutely not. And that's the thing with runners like Brisulph and CHX. I think when you're going for PB runs and that sort of thing, it's easy to get frustrated when you lose an orb. I've been there for sure. But I think in races, that's where you see really these top tier guys. They really step it up because they can lose an orb and still, no, I'm just going to maintain the setter. I'm going to work the item drops until I'm able to get this orb back. And then once I get it back, I'm just going to start destroying again. And that's what we kind of saw from CHX right there. Really maintained, got the orb back. Got those great rockets there in tank trouble, and I think that's where it kind of started, the momentum kind of kicking back for CHX's side, and then really 2 spreader invulnerability works right there from CHX, really worked that spreader well and closed out that run. That's what you're going to see from the best runners in this game.
I tell you what, though, if CHX wouldn't have dropped that orb early on in Total Carnage, might have, maybe. Of course, the drops probably would have differed, for the rest of the run. But maybe if he would have kept up the same drops as that he would have finished with, maybe would have talked about a tournament record there.
I think with any of these runs that any of these guys do, you could be talking about tournament record. Heck, we could be just talking about world record at this point.
Oh, absolutely. We have seen runners get into Mutoid Man in this tournament at world record pace, just not getting the drops they need to get that world record run. I mean, we saw that Oopla had that sub-4 going into Mutoid Man, and then the RNG just absolutely destroyed him. As Brisulph, they are pretty much even. 39s for both again. That's consistency, folks.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see a sub or a 40 plus from either of these two coming out of that first room. They're just absolutely melting those guys with just a good old pea shooter. That's all they need.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's a Razor Shield now for CHX. Brisulph working with the invulnerabilities. It's a good weapon to have. Now he's got a foot, which is great to go with the invulnerability when you're not getting an orb. Now grenades for both players. Going to ignore it. Just focus on the middle. Take down the soldier. Spreader now for CHX. Vulnerability for Brisulph. So, man, the weapons, nothing to write home about here in this game. And it is going to be CHX first with a 122. Brisulph, going to be a few seconds back with a 1:27, 5 seconds.
Yeah, not too much time, and there you go, right there. Those swirl getting out, and you just get that one little red swirl coming out from an explosion right there. Able to catch CHX, so lose a little bit of time on that end, but gets the orb after the spreader, so it's going to be able to clear out this room pretty effectively.
You know, there's something about taking a death in this room and picking up an orb that seems to have been a trend of late. It kind of makes you wonder if CHX did that on purpose. I'm going to say he didn't, but for all intents and purposes, let's just say he did.
I think when you don't have an orb in this room, taking a death isn't the worst idea if kind of the shrapnel are grouping up, especially on that left side, if you're spawning out the first player. Just because you get that invulnerability, you just run around, you just take out the shrapnel real easy, and then you can kind of shoot down the foot soldiers. I don't feel you lose it too much. Obviously a little bit of time, but when you're not getting anything on the drop, sometimes it seems like the best option there.
Well, I tell you what, a couple of purple shorts have been dangerously close to CHX's orb there, and he's gotten away with it a couple of times. So, rockets on the feet now for Brisulph, a good drop. More rockets now for Brisulph, kind of in a tricky position. He'll be able to get to it. The foot soldiers not picking off that orb. Good patience. Now a late razor shield for Brisulph. So, weapons starting to favor Brisulph here. He was coming in trailing in this room. He's still going to be trailing, but I think that deficit's going to be cut. So CHX gets a 258, and yes, Brisulph now just 4 seconds back with a 3:02. We've had 3 games, and we've had 3 product placements. Take it away.
Taco Bell. Product placement with
Taco Bell.
Don't drop that chalupa, ladies and gentlemen. This is another hot contest between the two. Neither player has a weapon. Let's see what Tank Trouble provides. CHX a nuke. That's a good opening drop. Take it down one of the gunners. And a nuke for Brisulph. You gotta love it. The equal opportunity drops. Both gunners are down for both players. Now it's all up to the RNG, what kind of weapons they get, and if they can keep that orb strong and healthy. Rockets for Bry.
Yeah, rockets for Bry, nuke for CHX right there. And really clean, like, it's a very thin margin in which you're able to use that nuke and be able to get both gunners down. Both of our runners doing it just in the nick of time, and both are able to hold down the center after the fact. This is going to be flying through this Tank Trouble. It's going to be very close coming out.
Oh, no question about it here. Brisulph getting great weapons, and oh my goodness gracious, this is about as close as you could want. 413 for both. They are in sync into the Mutoid Man fight.
Wow.
Is Mutoid going to give Bry a break this time? We will see.
Yeah, it is an ever so slight lead for CHX going into this fight. It's anybody's contest, and they both start with lobbers. Oh, the equal opportunity continues here. We could have a photo finish here. And Brisulph does not get the ball buster, unfortunately. Let's see if CHX can take advantage. Does he get it?
Yes,
he does.
He does.
Yes, so we've got a new leader. Back to CHX. Lobbers now for Brisulph. But CHX has a long way to go to his lobbers, so Brisulph may have taken the lead back. We'll see.
Yeah, landing lobbers, spreader coming in from CHX, trying to get a little bit of manual in. I think gets a little bit in there, not too bad, but yeah, not risking it right there, not taking a death. Goes grenades to lobber on Bry's side as well, dealing that consistent damage.
Wow, they are still neck and neck, but an empty drop for CHX shouldn't be too much of a problem. Still has plenty of clip left as CHX continues to keep that narrow lead.
Oh,
but here's
here we go.
Spreader for Bry.
And
And a key.
CHX.
That's the switch right there.
This could be the one that gets Brisulph back into this match. Final form. Let's see what kind of. Oh, he gets zapped.
Whoa! From where? How did that laser hit him?
I don't know. Final form for CHX could be too late depending on the transfer damage that Brisulph got, and that's it.
Oh,
Brisulph wins.
Oh, I thought that was going to be absolutely tragic. I have no idea how Mutoid hit him with a laser right there. From where? But he gets him. And there we go. Brisulph, 556.
My word.
Woo!
And once again, 6-0X, a spectacular time in the tournament. But it's going to be a losing time as CHX with the 607. So far, we've had 6 runs between the 3, and no one has done worse than a 6-0X so far. My goodness gracious. These guys are killing it tonight, folks. We could go to the distance. But Brisulph, I'm telling you right now, he needed this game.
It wasn't exactly a must-win, but you hate to be down 3-0. It's like 3 whammies in round 1 of press your luck.
I mean, for either of these two runners, it's kind of the same thing that I feel about grand finals as far as like either of these guys going to grand finals. You got to feel really good about your position. If CHX was to go up 3-0 right there, does Brisulph really feel like he can take 4 games in a row, 4 races in a row against CHX? That's a tall order for anybody. And so either side. So Brisulph, I think, like you said, getting that 3rd game, that was big. That actually changes the entire dynamic of this series, I feel.
Yeah, and Brisulph agrees with you. Where did that laser come from? He was pretty sure that he thinks he got hit by a phantom laser. If that's the case, he said it cost him a low 5-4X, but nonetheless, still got that all-important win. Runners are not quite ready yet, so we've got a little bit of time before we turn these runners loose. So, prediction.
That's good. I need a break, too.
Yeah, I certainly don't blame him. I mean, this match has been out of this world so far. I mean, you're talking about potential match of the tournament right now between Brisulph and CHX, the 2 tops in the world here. Prediction in chat. Do you think that Brisulph is going to tie up this match, or will CHX take a commanding 3-1 lead? This could be a good time for a channel prediction if we have any moderators up to it.
Looks like our restreamer was taking care of some behind-the-scenes production issues, and Brisulph apparently saying, "No, I know tie. CHX too strong."
Well, we'll see about that. I mean, both of these runners have been putting up absolute dynamite times here. We've played 3 games, and as I mentioned, there's been no worse than a 6-0X in every race for all of the runners. It's just insanity. So, yep, make your channel prediction right now if we're going to see this be tied up or if CHX takes that commanding 3-1 lead. Both are ready. I'm counting them down.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Cards. Yeah, get those predictions in. Get those points in. I mean, with 2 runners like this, in my mind, I don't see it going anything other than 7 just because it's so even. CHX getting those 2 early ones, though, has been getting a little bit of some nice Mutoid RNG, but it's shifted right there. I'm thinking Brisulph's going to get that Mutoid love toward the end. These 2 are going to be very close, and we're going to be going 2-2 into Game 5.
I think you're right. I think we are going to see Brisulph take that 4th game and knot up this match at 2 apiece, but we'll see how this plays out as they both have their Razor Shield. Looking at the quality, it is going to be very close to the door here, but CHX this time going to have the whole shot. I believe that's the first time tonight. Low 39, high 39. You're talking about 2/3 of a second, maybe half a second.
Maybe. I mean, again, sub 40. These guys are killing it. I don't think either is not satisfied with that first room that they've had tonight. They've been just destroying it tonight. Bry with that first drop orb, though, that is going to be a sight to behold right there for him.
And that's just what the doctor ordered. Tapatio, the first drop orb. CHX looks like he's fishing for one. Picks up grenades, now an invulnerability. Brisulph, that's the last of this room. But CHX does get the orb. It's a 119 for Brisulph. Another hot time going into Eat My Shrapnel. CHX uses the nuke at the last minute. 125. It's a 6-second lead for Brisulph. Gonna have to keep that orb healthy. That's gonna be most important right now for both of these runners.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And after that initial swirl, yeah, CHX threw it. But yeah, this is going to be locked down. This is going to be locked down, I think, through tank trouble, pretty much. I mean, like, both these guys with the orb, yeah, CHX makes it a little close, maybe kind of eating my words right there, but locking it down, doing all right, has the rockets going to be able to clear out the room. And, like, for both these guys, yeah, rockets, fresh rocket drop for Brian at the end.
Right on his feet, too. I mean, that could have been a sabotage.
That's going to help. Yeah, absolutely. That could have just been some grenades or something and just ruin that for him. But gets it. Goes for the feet, oddly enough. Keeps that speed up, so we'll see here. Oh, but gets the rockets. So, yeah, Bry just milking these drops right now and getting what he wants.
Right now, the weapon's heavily favoring Brisulph here. Getting spreaders, CHX getting nothing to complement that orb. We're seeing grenades upon more grenades. He is doing a good job. Now he gets the Razor Shield. He should have a Razor Shield for Brisulph. Yeah, Bergs, any opportunity that CHX might have had a chance to gain on Brisulph, that just went out the window right there. But look at these times here from both of these players going into the bonus room. We should see sub 3 on both. And yes, Brisulph 253 spreader now for CHX to close the room. Another sub 3, 259.
Wow.
My word.
Wow.
4 games. It's time for some Taco Bell. Taco Bell. Product placement with Taco Bell.
And Chorito, Tacorito, get yourself a big old frosty Baja Blast while you're at it.
Oh, I'm down for that. A Baja Blast, that sounds really good right about now. Razor Shield, great opening drop here for Brisulph. Can focus on the middle, take down theirs, and then follows it up with rockets.
Oh, mercy.
Man, Bergs, the drops have just been fire for Brisulph. A spreader for CHX, that's not a bad opening drop. But man, these drops are probably going to push Brisulph's lead. And more Vitamin R for the world record holder.
I mean, Brisulph has to be thinking he's going to get world record at this point. Good God, these drops.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps these drops going. I mean, he might have a shot at world record, if not, at the very least, a term record.
That route barely existed. How is he already out of tank trouble? Oh my God.
Flat. He would be ahead of world record pace. He needs a 71-second fight. CHX a 4:06. World record's possible for both. Let's see what happens.
Insane. And this is just, and unfortunately, Ballbuster does not happen for Brisulph, going for that lobber immediately. I can't blame him for that one. Rockets initially for CHX there still has his orb, but getting the lobbers as well, dealing that damage right now. Unfortunately, death on CHX's side.
Yeah, ran right into Mutoid Man there. I don't know if he was trying for the Ballbuster from front and gets an empty drop. This is what you were talking about, the RNG swaying now to Brisulph's side of CHX, getting a little bit hosed, but it's not over. And now a spreader!
Oh my goodness. And in a great position there for Bry. Easy. But CHX as well, going to be able to catch up pretty well.
Hold on! He gets parked on it!
No, come on now.
Wow! Now the RNG
and he's involved. You gotta be kidding me.
Really come in handy to get back to this one. So right now, unless Brisulph starts seeing empty drop upon empty drop, this is looking like it's going to be a tie match.
It's 2-2 now.
Yeah.
Good God, that couldn't have. Oh, that's a brutal one. You've seen it time and time again if you've ever run this game. Mutoid said no, and it happened.
Brisulph going to turn in the second 5-4X in tournament history.
Wow, these guys are flying tonight.
5-3X.
Wow.
Yes. The second 5-3X in tournament history. Brisulph with the 539. Unbelievable. And CHX did nothing wrong. He just got absolutely sabotaged. Had a good spreader in a good location. And all of a sudden, Mutoid Man just raced to that spreader, blocked his path. The next drop ended up being a vulnerability. That chain could have really come in handy to make this a lot closer. And CHX thought about waving the white flag, but he's going to finish it off.
Finish it off. You want to see him go down. I don't necessarily. I wouldn't have blamed CHX if he just like, all right, let's move on to the next run. But I also understand. Let's see where it ends up. Yeah, gets the lobbers in, gets the consistent damage in. Get a little, let's get a little revenge on him. I gotta see you go down because you treated me so bad right there. Mutoid doing what Mutoid does. So, yeah, the wow on Brisulph's side. That perfectly explains it right there. That was incredible from Brisulph's side. What a time.
Yeah, unbelievable.
You could hear the rubber band snapping on CHX's side.
Oh, yes! Exclamation point, rubber band, please. Because, yes, the rubber band is definitely snapping. I mean, CHX got off to that 2-0 lead, but all of a sudden, what was a best-of-7 match, ladies and gentlemen, is now a best-of-3. And this game is going to be crucial, in my opinion. I think I'm going to make my prediction right here, gentlemen. I think whoever wins this game is going to win the match.
Interesting. I mean, it's not an extremely bold prediction. It's not like you're saying whoever wins this is going to win it in 6. You're just saying whoever wins this next race is going to win the match. And that gives them 2 chances to do it after winning it. So you may not be wrong, but we'll certainly see how things go. I mean, there is the possibility of CHX going up 3-2 and then Brisulph rattling off 2 straight.
Oh, that's not out of the question. In fact, Burgundy, he's already done that against Prince Leaf. He was down 3 games to 2 and was on the razor's edge of being sent down to that second chance bracket. So you're right. Anything is possible.
Yeah, I'm thinking, right now with both these guys, like they see the times that they're each putting up. I mean, CHX, yeah, he had like a 6:30 there, but it was kind of shenanigans toward the end. I don't think he was necessarily, he saw that time for Bry putting up a 5:30. It's like, all right, whatever. But generally, like if you're not flying through this, that guy is either right on your heels or he's a little bit ahead of you right now. So I think for both these guys, it's going to be, it's not really going to set in, I think, until tank trouble, because if you're flying through, you get the orb going into tank trouble and you're really locking that room down. It's kind of been like a nice little precursor to the room. I don't think we've seen too big of an upset once Mutoid comes out, some slight changes. But if you're flying through, you should be guaranteed at least a chance at winning this game.
And once again, we have another channel prediction. Who gets their 3rd win in this one? And once again, CHX is going to have the whole shot with a 39 for both.
Jeez. Just flying.
So far, neither player has been in the 40s. They've been in 38 or 39 all match.
The word that keeps coming up is consistency, and that is what you get with both of these runners. There's a reason that they are the top 2, not just seeds in this tournament.
Wow, they both get an orb simultaneously in a razor shield at CHX's feet. The equal drops keep on coming. 77 second for Brisulph, just better order of operations for him. But CHX still a respectable 82 second time. He's 5 seconds back.
This is what you want to see right here. They're both getting the opportunity. No one's getting too shafted out of drops, maybe order of operations, that sort of thing. But yeah, they're both going to be flying through these rooms. Stradmel shouldn't give them any trouble. And we'll see going into Carnage. Really, who gets that razor shield first, who's able to maintain the center, and then who gets that first rocket drop going into Carnage. I think that's going to be big.
Yeah, Mr. Dino putting in chat the RNG favoring the favorites, but I'll tell you what, if you want to say that Brisulph is the favorite in this match, you can measure how much the favorite is by maybe just a grain of sand. Because this is close.
Well, there's that opening razor shield to start, and rockets to follow. Meanwhile, a key for CHX.
Yeah, the drops definitely favoring the number 1 seed here, getting the works here with that razor shield and the rockets. Meanwhile, CHX getting a key and a foot. So yeah, Brisulph getting, but now he's starting to dry up a little bit with those grenades. He's gonna want nothing to do with those.
This thing, though, one thing I felt going to this match is very interesting. Given Brisulph obviously, there's a reason why he's the world record holder this game. Knows what he's doing with this game. Any race he'll be able to really compete in 251.
Yeah, just an absolute insane time. But CHX another sub 3, 259. Into the bonus room in almost every occasion. That would be a leading time going into tank trouble. When you're up against someone like Brisulph, gotta do better. So Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell. However, it is advantage CHX. He's got 2/3 of a rocket clip left, and an invulnerability for Brisulph. Not a great opening drop to start tank trouble, but that nuke is going to help Brisulph clear the gunners.
Yeah, that's going to really help. And then it gets the rockets, so they're able to kind of make it up a little bit. The early Gunner clear there for CHX,
no!
but then loses the orb. That is devastating.
That is a critical mistake there by CHX. He was already down 8 seconds, and he's going to be down maybe 20 plus seconds if he doesn't see some drops.
Yeah, this is the only instance where I feel like you could really hurt yourself going before Mutoid Man right here, is if that you had that orb drop early in this room and then you just don't get it back. He does have the rockets though. He's really getting through these lines here, but it's not going to be nearly as fast as Bry.
Brisulph, if he can tie the world record for the fastest Mutoid Man fight, which is 69 seconds, he would have a world record by 1 second. Let's see how this plays out. CHX is not out of it. He was able to get good weapons, mitigate that loss, as Brisulph will not get the ball bust. He'll go for the manual here on this spreader, but finds an invulnerability.
Wow.
That's... yeah.
And a second
and
one.
Another? Okay, why not?
He gets a
just to finish off that clip.
No, he gets an empty drop. Oh, that could have been something. But here comes... Oh, no, don't do this again. Don't do this again.
Go, move.
Get out. Come on. Wow.
Oh.
You got it. And again, same thing. Same thing as the last game. Spreader, parked on it, then invulnerability. That could have changed so well for CHX.
You know what I'm seeing on Bry's side? He has 7 lives right now. He has that lucky number 7 on his side, and it's the unlucky number 5 on CHX's side. That is absolutely savage.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Bergs. I heard you do the rubber band there. And yeah, the rubber band keeps on snapping for CHX. Just getting unlucky here. Final form for Brisulph. He's going to get another sub-6. Is it going to be another 5-3X is the question. A little bit left to go on Mutoid Man for Brisulph. Not going to be a 5-3X this time, but it's going to be 541 or 2 for Brisulph. And he is a game away from punching his ticket to the Grand Championship. 542, another 542. So chalk up the, how many is that now? That's the 14th. 5-4X or better. And once again, CHX did nothing wrong in this fight. He got sabotaged once again by Mutoid Man on a spreader, took the death, and then Mutoid Man parked on it, and by the time he decided to unpark on it, it was gone. And as Brisulph likes to say, that was the end of dog racing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it kind of goes to show it's one of those things to where the obviously like you're able to kind of string along, and like I was saying before, both these guys can operate with no drops. They both got the drops early in this one, and then this thing hit tank trouble, and it just it was gone right then and there. I think as soon as that orb drop from CHX happened, Bry was really kind of maintaining. It looked like a good advantage for CHX early, but then once it got to about mid-room there, you really saw Bry pull away, really lock down that room, get out of there immediately, and then another good closeout there from Bry. Another unfortunate kind of mid-6 minute time there from CHX. I don't expect that from him going forward for the next run here. But we'll see. This is going to be a good one right here.
This is going to be interesting here. But yes, that rubber band is snapping real hard. And if that rubber band continues to do that, this is going to be over in game number 6. And that is actually going to be my prediction. I think Brisulph is going to put it away here. He's going to reel off 4 straight, and he's going to get another sub-6 time. We've already had 8 of them in this match. These 2 competitors, they've delivered. We expected this to be a exciting match filled with fireworks. They have not disappointed. Yes, Mutoid Man has done some dirty work to CHX in the last 2, but I think this one's going to be closer. But I have a hunch Brisulph's putting it away here in game number 6.
Oh boy! What about you, Burgundy? What you thinking for this next game?
Personally, I think CHX has gotten hosed on these last 2 races.
Sure,
it can't be 3 in a row, right?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this goes 7. I'm thinking it is.
I mean, that being said, I placed 10 shekels on will CHS force a seventh game? No, just because the odds were better. But
oh, the payouts, yes,
the prediction, yeah,
right.
21.5 to 1 odds. I'll throw a dime on that. Sure.
Why not? Right. But I will say this much. Last night somebody could have gotten 5.5 1 to odds on my CV2 randomizer, and of course that didn't pay off. It never does. The favorite bets always seem to win on channel predictions. Why? I don't know. But in any event, it's game number 6. CHX and Brisulph. CHX needs this one to force a 7th and deciding game. If Brisulph takes this, he moves on to the Grand Championship.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one here. I feel like this match, I should say, it's really been built on a good amount of momentum here. CHX taking those first 2 games, looking pretty dominant.
And for the first time, neither player getting a 39. It's a low 40 for both.
Shocking. Absolutely. Still a pretty good time for both of them, but
it's a real good time. Yeah. No question about it, Tabs, but probably a little bit disappointing because I'm sure they've been keeping track themselves.
Of course. Yeah, no. With these 2 runners, it's every split, every interval. It's like, all right, did I do that badly or did I potentially gain some time? Obviously, you don't know what your opponent's doing.
74 seconds for Brisulph. CHX still with 79. Man, these are hot times. These are habanero spicy times.
These are Diablo times right here.
I mean, CHX had a high 74 in one match. Brisulph, that was a low 74. If I go back to the bottom, it might even be a 73. Even a razor shield for Brisulph. CHX getting an invulnerability, so not really much in terms of the weapons. They don't really need it, but look at this. Brisulph getting a rocket to close the room, and he's going to have that to take with him to eat my total carnage with 156. CHX 201. That's still a really good time.
Ooh. Bry getting a little close right there with the rockets, actually. For a small time right there, but getting the spreader afterward, doing pretty well. Both with Orb going to be able to maintain the setup fairly well here, but really looking for those item drops, really looking for those rockets, those spreaders, those razor shields.
Key for Brisulph, nothing to write home about. A spreader for CHX, followed by another key. No pleasure dome in the easy percent game. Stop it with these keys. There's a nuke for CHX to be able to get control of the middle again. Brisulph should be just about done with this room. Another key. That is 3 here in total carnage for Brisulph. Nuke for CHX. Brisulph, not going to be a 2-4X, but it's going to be another 250 in the tournament. That is dynamite. Tell you what, CHX, another sub 3 into the bonus room. They have been close going in this room all night, so take it away.
Looking for Burgundy for the Taco Bell product placement with Taco Bell.
Oh my goodness gracious here. And yes, Burgundy just confirmed on the replay that Brisulph did manage to get a 73 going into
and some fancy footwork from Bry, really utilizing the cycle there. Does lose the orb though. Eventually, there was dancing on it though. Well, gets it back.
Wow! I was just gonna say,
lucky SOB. I
don't blame you for saying those letters there, Tabs. That's what I was thinking. I was just about to say it. This could be the opening to give CHX the lead. Oh, and CHX gets shrapnel.
Oh no! Oh, that's. Oh, he gets the vulnerability. He'll be able to run into his opponents right there. Gets grenades, unfortunately. He's just working the drops now, yeah.
But you know what? It didn't really hurt him that much. Just
that will, though. That will. He can't take that shrapnel death right there. No.
Oh, no. I mean, it's a 4-second race, 4.5-second race. Brisulph, he's going to have the ball buster chance and whatnot. But yeah, that was a costly death right there. I hope for CHX's sake it doesn't come back to burn him here. Let's see if Brisulph can get the ball buster, and yes.
Does get that. CHX able to take out the gunners with the grenades and then getting onto the
look at
rockets.
this.
Does get a
CHX.
great drop.
Come on, don't park on it. Please don't park on it. There we go.
Finally doesn't for CHX. He's had too many of those lately in the last few runs here. He's able to get a clean one. Will probably, I imagine, work this lobber.
An empty drop now for Brisulph, so a chance for CHX. Another empty drop for Brisulph.
Big momentum shift here.
This could be a big momentum shift, and we do have a lead change, gentlemen. Lobbers for both now.
Yeah, it might be just one of those ones. Unfortunate laser death right there from CHX. Bry is able to kind of tie it up as far as forms. I think CHX might be a little further ahead, but then the manual there from Bry. Wow, he's got on the right side. He destroyed him on that.
CHX needs a spreader now, and he gets grenades. This could be all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Brisulph looking for another sub-6. Will he get it? These lobbers could do it, folks.
That will lock it up if he lands these lobbers.
That's it. And Brisulph, unbelievable stuff here. 6 games, 5 sub-6s, 1 6-0X, and Brisulph moving on to the Grand Championship with a 554 CHX, 609, 610. Again, that spreader, that manual spreader there for Brisulph was the difference.
Yeah, perfect. Like, really, really well done right there from Bry. You get that spreader, and if you don't have the invulnerability, what you want is that Mutoid on one of those sides. He got him on the right side. He used the kind of gap. You know that Mutoid's not going to cross over that gap right there. Spaced him perfectly, landed a bunch of shots, and really just took away a couple forms right there from Mutoid off of manual. Beautiful move right there from Brisulph and locking up that game. 6 games for the win for Bry to move in to the Grand Side winners. Nicely done.